my reseller friends, welcome back to my channel. As you can just kind of see as what's going on behind me here in my office, I am in the process of moving, so my life is a little bit chaotic right now, but I did want to come on here and I wanted to give you a what sold video because I realized I haven't given you one in a while. So I pretty much just wanted to show you what's been selling for me even while I've been in the process of moving and haven't really been sourcing. I actually had a really great July with all things considered. I've gotten tons of sales, not as good as June, but I made just as much money this month because I haven't been buying inventory. So it kind of balanced out. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on and show you some of my what sold for July. I'm just going to give you a little handful of some of my eBay sales. I'm not going to show Posh and Mercari right now, simply just because I'm lazy. So let's go ahead and jump into it and I will show you. All right, so first item is this Lalaloopsy replacement outfit. So it is her clothes and her shoes. And I did have the doll, but I figured I could make just as much just selling the clothes, and then I didn't have to store that huge doll. So that's what I did, and it sold for 16 bucks. If you can find Lalaloopsies for a really good price and they have their clothes or their outfits or their shoes, sometimes it's worth it to buy them just so you can resell their clothing. And I wanted to show you some My Little Pony stuff because My Little Pony actually doesn't sell that well, like the newer toys, like the more modern ones. Some of the vintage ones do pretty well. But as far as the modern ones go, the market is just so saturated with them. So even if you bundle them up, they can still be really hard to sell. So my advice, if you ever come across these and you can get them for like a really good price, the best way to sell them is to, one, take really good pictures, and two, and which is the most important thing, is you got to find out the name of the set that it came from. Next is this Wolverine and X-Men, the complete series. This sold for 19 bucks. I think I got it for a quarter at a yard sale. Next is this Iron Man book. Now, I believe this is one of the ones that has like a complete series of all the comic books, and it's put together like in one hardcover book. I'm not really a comic book person, so I don't know that well. But all I know is that I literally paid $1 for this at a yard sale. I sold it for $110. I did accept an offer. I think I had it listed for $150. The reason why I went low on it is because you can see around the edges there is some wear on it. But if this was in better condition, I probably could have gotten close to $200 for it. So definitely look for these bigger comic book hardcover collection book sets. And I wanted to show this one because I thought it was funny. So this is a Prince Charming Lego guy. But he's totally not wearing the right hair. Like, he's supposed to have black hair. Like, Prince Charming has black hair. But I did buy, like, this little bag at a yard sale that had, like, some doll clothes in it. And at the bottom of it, there was a couple of, like, little knick-knack toys. And this was one of them. And I just listed it for $15. I knew he wasn't wearing the right hair. But I was able to find out which sets he did come from, so that really helped me to sell it too as well. So it's just, if you're going to sell toys, it's so important to know the sets that they come from, the names of the sets. You got to find that, or else it's just going to take longer for you to find that right buyer to come along if you don't have the name of the set. Or in this case, I just had the Lego set numbers. All right, next is some accessories that go to Quint dolls. Now, Quint dolls were from like the early 90s, and they sell so good. Like anything Quints, I did buy a whole box full of Quint stuff at a yard sale. I parted them out. I've slowly been selling them, but they sell for pretty good money, and I've made a really good profit off of that box. So always be on the lookout for Quint stuff. And I wanted to show you Little People because if you go to a yard sale, people are normally just like giving these away. Like, they're so cheap. Like, I think I pay like a quarter for my little people and stuff. Like, if you just randomly find them, and you can save them, and then you can lot them up like in little sets. And sometimes you'll find little people characters that are valuable just selling on their own. You don't even need to bundle them. In this case, these were more common Disney princess dolls. So none of them were really worth much on their own. But like I said, you can get these for really, really cheap, bundle them together, and make a quick, pretty decent profit off of them. Next is this Sony PlayStation 3 remote control. This was my husband's. He asked me to sell it. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you is because there's a funny story. So the buyer sent me a message after he received it, and he just said, thank you for shipping this so fast. The remote control is in really good condition, but it's not working. I can't figure out what's wrong. There's nothing wrong with my PlayStation. I know I have good batteries in there. It's just not working, and I'm pretty disappointed about it. What do I do? So I messaged him back, and I just said, oh no, I'm so sorry, it's not working. It was working when I shipped it. Why don't you try pairing it? And here's the instructions. And I sent him like a link on how to pair it. And I'm all, but if you're still having problems, just go ahead and open up a return, and I'll take care of it for you. Well, it turned out that he totally wasn't trying to pair the remote. And the instructions I gave him helped him, and he was able to get it working. So instead of just me simply being like, oh, go ahead and open a return, or just refunding him or something, taking that extra step to help him try to figure out how to work it actually worked in my favor this time. And he actually left me really great feedback. So yeah, I don't think it's always a good idea just to quickly refund people if they complain. Always try to come up with a solution first. And next is this lot of Little Mermaid toys. Now, these were all my daughters. These were really hard to sell. I am actually a huge Ariel fan myself. I grew up like idolizing her, and yeah, it was hard for me to sell these. But the reason why I'm showing these to you, this normally wouldn't have sold for this high, but there is a reason, and that's because of Ariel's sisters. Ariel's sisters do really well, so keep your eye out for anything of them. Next is this Royal Rumble WWE Blu-ray. So my brother is a huge wrestling fan, and he did give me a handful of his wrestling movies to sell for him. So I'm selling these for my brother. And I did notice that a lot of wrestling DVDs have pretty good value. I mean, some of them were duds. So the ones that were the duds, I just kind of made into like little lots. But anything that was like worth like $10 or more, I'm selling those separately. This was one of them. It sold for $17. Next is this Lalaloopsy car, and I was really happy with the sale because I almost didn't post it because, let's see if I can show you the pictures. For one, it's missing its remote control, so there's that. And then right here, it's missing the battery door. So there's two things. I'm like, is anyone even going to buy this? But yeah, someone bought it. I mean, it was only listed for like a week and a half, and it sold for my full asking price of $15. Next is these Disney Parks H2O shampoo, like little travel size shampoo bottles. Now, when I did have my annual pass for Walt Disney World, we always stay at the Disney hotels there. So I was just taking the shampoos and stuff at the end of the day. I'd put them in my bag and save them. And then, of course, we would get like a new set the next day, but I really just brought my own shampoo. But I didn't take these because I was planning on reselling them. I legit wanted to just have them. But when you're moving and you're going through and you're like looking through your stuff, it's like, do I really need to have this? I really don't. So yeah, these sold for $12. Next is this complete set of Lost in Space. on Blu-ray, and I did get these for really cheap. I bought them in a huge bundle lot of more DVDs and Blu-rays, and I sold it for $85. Somebody did send me an offer, I think for like $60, and I ended up not accepting that offer, or I countered. I don't remember what I did, but I wasn't able to close that deal. But then somebody came along and just bought these for my full asking price. So I was pretty happy with that. Next is Pongo and Petita. This one was really hard for me to let go too, because my daughter is a huge 101 Dalmatian fan when she was a baby. We actually named our dog Spotty off of one of the little Dalmatians, the little puppies. So my mom did buy my daughter a lot of 101 Dalmatian stuff. And at one point she bought her these. And these came from the Disney store, but look at how much they sold for $150. So always look for Disney store plush, especially if it's characters that aren't as common. And I think maybe they sold a little bit better now because of the Cruella movie that recently came out, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'm going to find a way to go ahead and give this money to my daughter. Maybe I'll put it into her savings account or something. Next is this troll. It's just a vintage troll. Again, with toys, you should really find out the name of the toy. Like, don't just simply write troll doll with green hair. Find out what it's actually called. And in this case, he was called Beach Boy. And you know, when you do that, it really helps your buyers be able to find your listing. So this sold for $14. I paid a quarter for it at a yard sale. This is another one of my brother's movies. This is the SummerSlam. It sold for $25. Next is this set of Superboy DVDs. It's the complete set. This also came from the same buy where I bought those Lost in Space DVDs. Oh my gosh, that buy was just spectacular. But I sold it for $100. And normally the way I ship my movies, maybe I'm wrong for doing it this way. So maybe you should listen to me if I'm wrong, but what I do is I ship these media mail, even though it is a really expensive sale, right? I ship it media mail to keep the cost down, but then I do add the extra insurance to it. So that's how I do it, and I've never had a problem ever. And I'm able to save money on shipping. Like, I think most people in my situation probably would have shipped this priority mail. And really, that's probably what I should have done. But yeah, I'm cheap and I wanted to save the extra couple bucks. And yeah, but I never have a problem though. So that's good. All right. So now this is a set of Goosebumps books, but I think these are the more modern Goosebumps. There is one vintage one in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's all the way back there. But I bought these at a yard sale for a quarter a piece. And I sold the set for $40. Here's another Iron Man book, comic book. This isn't a hardcover though. And I did get this from that same yard sale where I got that other Iron Man book from. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was very cheap. It was probably $1. And I sold it for $33. Next is this Barbie bed, and I wanted to share this one because this is another thing with toys. It's so important that you know. Like, if you're going to sell Barbie stuff, you got to know what set it came from. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to sell it fast and if you want to sell it for more money, you should know what set it comes from and put that in the description. After I did a bunch of research, I was able to figure out that this came from the Deluxe Dream House. From 1998. So that really helped me to sell it. And I did have other furniture too that came from that same set, and I just parted them all out. And those have been selling really well for me. Next is this Barney book. I sold it for $13, but the reason why I'm pointing it out is because I just wanted to share with you that these like vintage books from the 90s that are the song and plays or the play and sound, whatever they call them, these sell really well. I mean, this wasn't like a huge like profit, but it sold, and it sold quickly. But the trick is to always make sure they work. They could just be out of batteries if they don't work, but it's not worth like the extra time it's going to take to like find the right batteries for them, install them, test them. And, it's just check them at the store, make sure all the buttons work. And if they do, pick it up. If it doesn't, I would leave it behind. And I just wanted to show you some more little people. These ones sold for a little bit more because they have their little accessories. And plus, I think that Belle's Beast as a human, I think that one's just worth a little bit more too, because that's a little bit more of a rarer doll. So this sold for $23. Next is cheese. This is such a cheesy listing, guys. It sold for $13. But keep an eye out for toy food, but like the quality kind, not the super cheapy kind. You could just tell by feeling it if it feels like super cheap plastic. But the really good quality toy food sounds good. This is more Quints. I just wanted to show you how this stuff is selling. I mean, look at $25 for what? This is just like junk. But to somebody else, it's treasure. And look, $25 for this, guys. These little shoes, and it's just like a winter set for them. I think this is like a ski set. Some more Quints. This one I accepted an offer on. I think I had it listed for $40 and someone sent me an offer for $30 and I took it. Yeah, I felt like that was a fair offer. I was happy. But I think I listed it a little bit higher, but I already knew I was probably going to accept an offer. Next is this Han Solo pop figure. It sold for $20 plus shipping. That cost $10 to ship. Now, I did want to show you my listing on Pops, because just the littlest ding on the corner, I mean, to a normal person looking at this is in perfect, absolutely acceptable condition, right? But to like the hardcore Pop collectors, dude, they'll freak out over the tiniest little thing. So it's so important that you put that. I've heard so many stories about people having to deal with like these crazy Pop collectors. So you don't want to sell to one of those Pop collectors if your box is not an absolute prestige condition. Some more Quints. I'm telling you, this stuff is just, it's selling for me. I only have a couple of sets left. This one sold for $28. It's like a bathroom set, I think. Like, these are little toilets. And then these are the sinks. Oh, and the reason why I wanted to show you this little girl right here. Oh my gosh. So I've had this for over a year. I finally sold it. So what I did was I put her in a plastic bag because I didn't want her to get like damaged or anything in while it sat in inventory. But actually putting her in the plastic bag actually ruined her, because like the bottom of her shoes, I don't know what it's made out of, but it like got stuck. Like the vinyl part got stuck to the plastic, so it like took off like I don't know if it's like paint or what it is on her shoes, but it took it off and it like got all over the doll. So when I brought her out to ship her, I was like, oh my gosh, this is in no condition to ship to this customer. And I'm really big on, if you make a mistake, you got to really go above and beyond to make it up to your buyer. So what I did was I messaged the buyer and I just told her what happened. And I said, you know what? I'm going to refund you in full and I'm still going to ship you the doll. Maybe you would be able to clean her up and maybe you can like repaint the shoes or something. But she's yours for free and please accept my apology. So I ended up refunding her and I still shipped it off. And she was happy, and I definitely didn't end up with any sort of negative feedback or anything. And the last one that I have to show you is Dragon Ball Z. We're really big Dragon Ball Z fans in our house, by the way. And I kind of wanted to keep this just because I love Dragon Ball Z, but we do have the complete collection on Blu-ray already, so I don't need it. But this sold for $13, and I got it for super cheap at a yard sale. But anime does really well, so always look for anime sets. And I mean, this is another thing where I didn't make a ton of money off of, but it was a quick sale, and it was just really healthy. It's just healthy in general to have like things like this on your store that sell quickly. It's just great vitamins for your store. Well, thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you guys all in the next video. And never forget, when you thrift upon a star, all your dreams will come true. Bye!